Hi, my name's Katie and I'm going to be talking about preventing the spread of foodborne illnesses on cutting boards. Foodborne illnesses are caused by bacteria or parasites that are found in foods that need to be cooked, and they can be spread on cutting boards by cutting foods like chicken or pork and then using the same board to cut foods that are eaten raw. So I'll be demonstrating a couple different techniques. One of them is just plain old Dawn dish soap and water. And the other technique is a paste made from salt and lemon juice, and it's recommended by a lot of blogs and websites as an alternative to dish soap for people who are either trying to avoid chemicals or they're just worried that their boards are going to pick up off flavors from the scents and the dyes in dish soap and then transfer those flavors to food. I'll be using Glow Germ, which is a simulated germ that is UV light reactant, and it's used for demonstrating proper hand washing technique, surface cleaning, and aseptic technique in the lab. So I'll start by contaminating a cutting board with my Glow Germ. And then we'll just try to wash it off, and we'll see what would be left if there were really germs on this cutting board. Soap and water works by emulsifying the oils and the bacteria and allowing them to be washed away. Okay, and I'm using an actual sink full of water rather than just drizzling the soap on the cutting board, because I tried this previously and I was able to eventually get the same results, but it works much better to have a sink full of water. So that is definitely ideal if it's possible. Okay, so now you can actually see already that there's orange caught in the cracks, but we'll look at it under the black light. And as you can see, there is orange Glow Germ caught in the cracks of the cutting board, but the surface of the cutting board is clean. So that shows us how easy it is to clean the surface of a nice smooth plastic cutting board, but those cracks are just never going to get clean. I've tried scrubbing them with a brush, I've tried putting it through the dishwasher, and nothing gets that orange Glow Germ out of those cracks. So let's try a wooden cutting board. I've got the same Glow Germ, and we're going to be using the dish soap. Okay. So washing it in the warm soapy water, it does a great job of cleaning the surface of things, but you can also use a dishwasher to sanitize cutting boards. It's a lot more effective. I did an experiment in the lab with these cutting boards, and I sanitized them in the dishwasher previously, and there was virtually no bacteria other than the bacteria that I contaminated them with, which was Sriracha marcescens, which grows red underneath, or it grows red in 25 degrees Celsius. So I was able to make sure that the bacteria that I was growing was what I contaminated with them. So all of them, the wood and the plastic, did a great job being sanitized in the dishwasher. See what we have. All right, as you can see, this is a very rough cutting board, and the dish soap does not get it clean. It's, once again, a testament to how important it is to have a nice smooth cutting board. That is a very rough, inexpensive cutting board, and even though you can sand and resurface wooden cutting boards, that one just gets splinters. So let me demonstrate with a nice smooth cutting board. Even though this is a wood cutting board, it is hardwood, and I just resurfaced and oiled it. So let's see how easily we're able to wash away the Glow Germ on a nice, smooth, ideal cutting board surface. Okay. That is, one of the nice differences between the plastic and the wooden cutting boards. The nice smooth plastic cutting boards, they work great. You can sanitize them really easily, but as soon as you use them, they have the rough surfaces that just never come clean. Whereas this could be marked up down to 1/8 of an inch and you could still just sand it down and it would behave the same as a brand new wooden cutting board. Okay, let's see what we've got. All right, we can see a little bit of orange in the rough spots. So not quite as good as the plastic cutting board, but definitely a huge improvement on the rough wooden cutting board. I would definitely say that was a close second to the nice smooth plastic cutting board. I can even see that it's caught in the rougher parts of the board. So if you had a board that didn't have the grain flaws like this one does, it would probably perform a lot better. But still, a very close second. All right, so why don't we try the salt and the lemon? Contaminate my cutting board first. Okay. All right, so all you do is make a paste with the salt and the lemon, and you're supposed to just use the lemon itself to scrub it like an abrasive. So in the lab, the lemon juice and the salt performed slightly better than the soap and water. So it probably has some good antimicrobial properties. The salt and lemon just doesn't have the emulsifying properties that soap and water does. I can feel already that it is oily. It's visibly and doesn't feel as clean as the soap and water got it. But it does have antimicrobial properties. Let's just see what we've got here. Not great. It's very visible on the smooth surfaces as well as, of course, as you can see, the rough surfaces. And I can see it and feel it is not good. But it did perform as well in the lab. The lemon juice has a pH of between 2 and 3, and most bacteria that are able to get people sick are neutrophilic, which means they prefer a pH of between 6 and 8. And then salt creates a hypertonic solution, which means that there's more salt outside the bacteria cell than inside. And so the water migrates out of the cell and causes the cell to shrivel up and separate from the cell wall and die. So that's most likely what was happening in the lab, since it's obviously not washing away the bacteria all that well. But it should be safe to use, especially if you make sure to do a really good job, like if you do it a couple times. Try this. And once again, I can see already that it is much worse than the dish soap board. we'll take a look. Yeah, it's very, very orange. I can, even on the wood, I can feel the oil from the glow germ. Alright, so what I was trying to figure out, since the lemon juice and the salt did so well at controlling the bacterial growth in the lab, I was trying to find out if it was actually killing bacteria or if the abrasive action of the salt was helping to wash them away. So this, I think, supports my theory that the bacteria were being killed by the salt and the lemon, which is a good thing, but it does mean that you have to consider the application for what you're using it for. If you're cutting something really fatty and your boards are oily, I would say that you definitely want to use some dish soap. If you want to still use the salt and the lemon, maybe even just to try to wash away the residue of the soap, that's great, but it does not do as good a job of washing away the bacteria as the soap and water does. So the biggest thing, I think, is common sense. You want your boards to be smooth so that there aren't crevices for the bacteria to hide in, and you want to make sure that they're clean. Whether you're using the soap and the water or the salt and the lemon, I don't think it really matters. This helps you see that you really want to be careful to make sure that you're washing them very well, but then you also want to make sure that you're killing the germs. So I think either technique would be fine as long as you're doing a good job. Thank you.